3 months before our wedding, I found my fiancée active on dating apps, calling herself single. I didn't confront her. I made a fake profile, set a date, and when she walked into that restaurant, she knew it was over. I was 3 months away from getting married, and nothing in my life looked unstable from the outside. The venue was booked, deposits were paid, and invitations were already being designed. We'd picked colors, talked about seating charts, argued playfully about the playlist. My fiancé and I had been together for 4 years, living in my condo for the last 2. It felt settled in that quiet adult way. Shared groceries, inside jokes, routines that made the days blur together. We talked about kids like it was a matter of timing, not possibility. A house in the suburbs someday. Weekend trips. The whole future laid out like it was already happening. I trusted her. Not the naive kind of trust either. The kind that comes from time, from consistency, from thinking you actually know someone. That's what made what happened feel unreal. Like my life had slipped a gear without warning. It was a Sunday afternoon, game day. Just me and a buddy on my couch with wings and cheap beer. He was half watching, half scrolling on his phone, swiping mindlessly through a dating app. At one point, he laughed and turned his screen toward me. "Bro," he said, amused, "this girl looks exactly like your fiancé." I didn't even react at first. Everyone has a look-alike. I made some dismissive comment, but he pushed the phone closer. "No, seriously. Like, exactly." I looked, and everything inside me went cold. It wasn't someone who resembled her. It was her. The same smile, the same eyes, the same little dimple she hated but I loved. One of the photos was from a brunch 2 weeks earlier. I knew because I took it. The caption said she was single. No drama. Looking for something real. My chest tightened. I didn't say a word. I just stared. My buddy's smile faded as he watched my face. "Dude, that's not actually... What app is that?" I asked, already pulling my phone out. Oh, he told me. I downloaded it right there. Found her profile in minutes. Active. Online that morning. I felt dizzy, like the room had tilted. I left shortly after, barely remembering the drive home. She was on the couch when I walked in, watching some reality show, totally relaxed. She smiled at me, asked how the game was. I couldn't look at her for more than a second. I mumbled something and locked myself in my office. That's when I downloaded 2 more dating apps. I don't know why. Maybe I needed to know how deep the lie went. I found her on both. 3 apps, 3 active profiles, 3 different bios, all claiming she was single. One said she was recently out of a long relationship and ready to start fresh. Another described her as an independent woman looking for adventure. All recent photos, all active, all getting matches. I sat there until after midnight, staring at my phone, replaying every conversation we'd had recently, every kiss, every "I love you," trying to figure out how a person could live 2 lives so easily. She knocked on the door. "You coming to bed?" "Yeah," I said, just wrapping up some work. "Okay, love you." "Love you too." Saying it felt like swallowing glass. The next few days I went through the motions. Work, home, dinner together, normal conversations. She laughed, complained about coworkers, talked about wedding details like nothing was wrong. Meanwhile, I was quietly documenting everything. Screenshots of profiles, timestamps, activity status, messages. I didn't confront her. I didn't ask questions. I wanted proof she couldn't talk her way out of. And somewhere in that fog, a plan formed. I created a fake profile on the app where I'd first seen her. Used photos of a friend who'd moved overseas and gave me permission. Built the profile to be exactly her type. Successful, outdoorsy, into travel, no baggage. I swiped right on her. We matched within an hour. She messaged first. flirty, confident, told me she was newly single after a long relationship and excited to meet someone genuine. Newly single. I stared at the words for a long time before responding. We talked for days. She gave me her number. We moved to texting. She sent selfies, talked about how she was finally putting herself first, how she wanted a man who made her feel chosen. I suggested dinner at a nice Italian place downtown, the same restaurant where we'd celebrated our anniversary last year. She said yes immediately. The day of the date, she told me she had a girls' night with coworkers and might crash at a friend's place since they'd be drinking. "Have fun," I said. "Thanks, babe. You're the best." While she was getting ready for that lie, I packed her entire life into boxes. Clothes, shoes, toiletries, jewelry, all of it. I rented a storage unit, moved everything there, labeled every box, took photos, kept receipts. I changed the locks. The condo was in my name. Legally, I was clean. I got to the restaurant early and asked the manager for a table with a clear view of the entrance. Slipped him some cash. He didn't ask questions. I ordered a drink and waited, heart pounding. When she walked in, she looked incredible. Hair perfect, makeup done, wearing a dress I'd never seen. She checked her phone, smiled when I texted from the fake profile that I was parking, fixed her hair, then walked toward my table. She stopped when she saw me. The excitement drained from her face, replaced by confusion, then fear. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cause a scene. I showed her everything. The profiles, the messages, the lies. I slid an envelope across the table with the storage unit key and address. I held out my hand for the ring. She cried. She tried to explain. I listened without reacting. When she finally took the ring off and dropped it into my palm, I stood up. "We're done," I said. "Don't contact me, except for logistics." I walked out feeling lighter than I had in days, like I'd set something heavy down. In the car, my hands finally started shaking, but I didn't regret a thing. I blocked her everywhere except text. Within an hour, the messages started. Angry, apologetic, threatening, begging. I didn't respond. The next morning, her mom called. I let it go to voicemail. Her best friend texted, accusing me of humiliating her. I blocked that too. By midday, security at my office called to say she was in the lobby demanding to see me. I went down, listened for 30 seconds, then told security to escort her out. That night she showed up at my condo, ringing the doorbell, crying, yelling through the intercom. The Ring camera recorded everything. I told her calmly that her things were in storage and she had the key. She left eventually. The next day, her lawyer sent a letter. Mine responded with the deed, the storage receipts, and screenshots of all 3 dating profiles. After that, things escalated in predictable ways. Social media posts painting herself as the victim, friends taking sides, wedding deposits lost. It was messy and exhausting, but it was also clarifying. Every step she took confirmed the decision I'd made at that restaurant. By the time the noise died down, the engagement was dead. The ring was back where it belonged, and my condo felt quiet in a way that finally made sense. I didn't feel angry. I felt relieved. I'd caught the truth before it became a marriage, before kids, before mortgages and custody schedules. Sometimes I think about how close I came to walking into that future blind. And every time, I'm grateful my buddy laughed at the wrong moment and showed me a screenshot. After that night, time stopped feeling linear. Days didn't move forward so much as they dragged themselves along, each one heavier than the last. The restaurant wasn't the end of anything. It was the beginning of the fallout. The morning after, I woke up in a condo that suddenly felt unfamiliar, like I was crashing in someone else's life. Her things were gone, but the weight of her choices was still everywhere. The wedding plans, the future conversations, The life we'd been narrating to friends and family. Gone in an instant. And in the silence that followed, I could finally hear my own thoughts without constantly managing hers. She didn't disappear quietly. She cycled through emotions like she was flipping channels. Apologies that sounded rehearsed, anger that felt defensive, tears that came with conditions. 1 minute, she was saying she was scared and confused. The next, she was accusing me of humiliating her and throwing away 4 years over some stupid apps. What stood out wasn't what she said, but what she never said. She never once took full responsibility. She talked about her loneliness, her doubts, her fear of commitment, but never about the deliberate choice to create 3 dating profiles and call herself single while wearing my grandmother's ring. Fear is human. Deception is a decision. Work became a strange refuge. After she showed up at my office and security escorted her out, I half expected everyone to whisper when I walked by. But the world didn't stop. People had meetings, deadlines, coffee breaks, and that normalcy grounded me. I didn't need sympathy. I needed stability. I showed up, did my job, went home. That routine kept me from spiraling. Family pressure came from her side first. Her mom left a long voicemail about forgiveness and commitment, about how marriage isn't about perfection. I deleted it without responding. My mom, when I told her everything, didn't give advice or ultimatums. She just said, "You protected your dignity." That one sentence carried more weight than all the guilt-tripping combined. The social media mess was uglier than I expected. She painted herself as blindsided, homeless, devastated. Friends rushed in to defend her. I stayed silent. I didn't post. I didn't comment. I sent the truth, screenshots, timestamps, to a handful of people I trusted. Within days, the narrative started cracking. Questions appeared. Posts vanished. The outrage faded. Silence replaced it. Truth doesn't need volume. It just needs time. The storage unit incident changed something in me. When I got the call that someone had cut the lock, my first thought wasn't anger. It was disappointment. When I saw the footage and the damage, I realized this wasn't about heartbreak anymore. This was about control slipping away. Filing the report, watching her lawyer scramble, getting that written admission. It wasn't satisfying. It was final. It told me everything I needed to know about who she became when she didn't get her way. After that, things quieted down. The messages slowed, then stopped. Her lawyer went silent. Friends who once pressured me to be the bigger person disappeared. And in that quiet, I started rebuilding. Not dramatically, not performatively. I reclaimed my space, rearranged the condo, bought furniture that felt like me, got back into routines I'd abandoned to accommodate her moods, morning coffee on the balcony, late workouts, weekend trips with friends I'd neglected. Sometimes, late at night, I wondered how long she'd been unhappy, whether she ever planned to stop. Those questions didn't lead anywhere useful. Closure isn't about answers. It's about acceptance. And I accepted this. Someone who can look you in the eye while planning dates with strangers is not someone you build a life with. When I heard she was still active on the apps, it didn't sting. It confirmed everything. The version of her I loved only existed when stability suited her. I didn't miss her. I missed the illusion of what I thought we were. Once I separated those two, the loss lost its power. The real clarity came quietly. One evening, sitting alone, city lights glowing below, I realized my chest felt calm. No anxiety, no second guessing. I hadn't won anything. I hadn't gotten revenge. I'd just stepped away before my future became collateral damage. People ask if I'd do anything differently. I wouldn't. She showed me who she was when she thought I wasn't watching. I just made sure she couldn't rewrite it later. I didn't punish her. I chose myself. The ring is safe. The wedding is gone. The life I almost locked myself into disappeared, and in its place is something slower, quieter, and honest. For the first time in a long time, that's enough. If this story resonated with you, let me know in the comments. If you want more real stories about betrayal, boundaries, and choosing yourself when it matters most, don't forget to like and subscribe.